Hey folks, today it is February the 23rd and this is our government class, and today in U.S. government the class is going to go over Articles 4, 5, 6, and 7 of the U.S. Constitution. And here in a second, after they partner up, we're going to spend some time, we're going to read it, and I expect you to read it too. And then after we read it, our partners are going to tell us about their assigned section. But I'm not going to tell them about their assignment until after we have time to read it. So, there can be one group of three. All right, you're the three. That means everybody else's partner. Do you have a partner? You want Davison? Yeah, go ahead and link up with Davison. All right, super friends. I'm going to start my timer, and I want all of you to read Articles 4, 5, 6, and 7. It took me 5 minutes to read it this morning.
Are we gonna do the thing we did last time?
Yeah, right. But I'm not going to tell you your part yet because I want you to read the whole thing because you're so smart. It wasn't sarcasm. Y'all are a lot smarter than I was at your age. All right, kids. It's found in the Google Classroom, or you can just Google U.S. Constitution. Yeah.
I'm on a book and from the college bookstore. I know. It's like 3 small books. One of them is filled with everyone's greatest speeches. Everyone's greatest speeches. The second one's both the Constitution and Bill of Rights, all packed into one book. Then I think the third one is something about like the battles of Civil War.
Okay. All right, kids. I'm going to give you 10 minutes to read over that real quick, and then I'm going to give you your assigned portion.
Wait, the Constitution, right?
Yeah, the Constitution. Articles 4, 5, 6, and 7. Don't worry about the delegate names and all that stuff. Shh. Just go ahead and read it. I'm sorry.
Okay, well, I'm already at boss.
Yeah, sure.
Why do you need lotion? What are you looking at on your computer?
Somebody distracting me.
Hey, it's smelling.
It works well.
You want to see that? I'll show you. You know, of course we don't use words. One moment though. U.S. Constitution.
If every single
Hey, just say your words.
Joey, why are you so mean? Hey, we'll talk about it in a minute. Let's go ahead and let everybody finish real quick.
Article 4.
U.S. Constitution.
Mr. Whitener, can we call an article?
Excuse me. Sorry, Charlie.
Dan. Which article are you supposed to read up to?
All of them.
Okay, I'm almost done anyway. Are you trying to fix me on the page? Yes.
Yeah, actually, that's it.
Does anybody need more time?
Really?
Give me a couple
I
minutes.
need all the time in the world.
See how that turns out.
You said it first.
No, you said it first.
Who said one?
They hate each other. Surprise, surprise.
Let me.
I know this.
Hold on. Watch this.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
It's not even Bryson and Elizabeth in there.
Bryson Olga Bynum.
I was about to say
It's
that.
not always. Bryson's literally the second man.
He looks like
It's me.
You have the wrong. This is the sixties. Wrong officer.
No, no one I decided your middle name was Olga and Mount Platform.
All right,
Do
kids.
you remember that?
I'm gonna go ahead and give you your portion.
Olga?
So,
looks like you're
My fellow Americans.
some of your sections will be larger than others, but one
My
thing that I
section is
want you to
larger than
do is that if it doesn't just quite come to you, look it up. Because there's a couple of parts here that didn't make sense since basically some of this stuff is trying to resolve issues that were only around after the American Revolution. No, really come up anymore since then, since we haven't had any other, American wars against like Great Britain for independence. All right, so first one we have is, let's see, Article 4, Section 1. So that'll go to you two in the back. So y'all get this one.
Oh my goodness.
Section 2 is you two fellas right there.
Yeah.
Section 3 is you two fellas.
Oh.
Okay. All right. So you two fine folks in the back, y'all get Section 4.
Which fine folks in the back.
Moving right up over here, y'all get Article 5. Yay. Yeah. Article 6 goes to you two. And last but not least, Article 7, which is probably the easiest one, goes to you three in front. So y'all spend a few minutes discussing how you're going to tell us the great meaning of this seminal document, right?
Okay, so basically, my dog. You know what I mean? What is it about? Stop looking. Look at me right now. Oh.
It's how amendments are actually not introduced, or I think just how they're proposed.
No, shut up. He's trying to read.
And
The
nothing,
house to be necessary, and then.
and none of the amendments made before. None of the amendments
Oh, hey, good news. Picture Day's been moved to February the 26th.
Interesting.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah, hooray you. Hooray. Picture Day, February the 26th. Make sure you brush your teeth and wash your face.
Rules and regulations according to each state. And states can be made inside other states.
Actually, Canton has it in its, or Van Zandt County has it.
Yeah.
Where they can leave the United States.
Okay, 24th Wednesday.
Yeah, but they're.
Yeah,
America won't
Friday.
recognize
Yeah,
it.
Friday.
Yeah, but if they leave, it's not.
Right, so where's the middle end? Actually.
It's still.
But I mean, you could. No, it just, it would be a military nation
No, that is
by
right.
America,
Right, all the minors?
pretty much.
Yeah,
That's got that.
no, it's not. It's not.
We've been saying it for a year, so.
I haven't been saying it for a year.
I don't get that, man.
That's like about you, no, 3 years.
Elizabeth, I would snap you in half if we were to fight.
You know what I mean?
Well,
Well,
okay,
yeah, shut your mouth.
so that's supposed to be a threat.
Yeah, kind of.
What she did.
What happened?
Rest in peace for him. I'm your business, Joey.
I'm asking no, I'm not talking to you. What happened? Yeah.
Let's go together too.
Noah.
All right, folks, one more minute.
I mean, I know him pretty well. I think it was-
But she just got back with her ex, so I'm in the clear.
I don't get it either.
I don't know why people
Uh,
talk.
we both think I know more people there, but if I were to find someone like in person, then
I think you're
I don't
both.
know, when I was driving
in
over.
person, because we don't get so.
I think you guys are both kings. And we can find a way.
Joey's got more houses.
This is the way
Somebody.
you've never married.
What's in there?
Destiny's.
Destiny? Oh, that's a strong.
That
Yeah.
sounds really familiar.
You want one?
I mean, honestly,
Do you know what season 4 is? I at least know about that, right? I just.
She's crazy, man.
If you want to
She
know.
didn't answer my freaking video.
Start DMing random people.
No, people
You
like that.
die,
No, people that would
or
probably
live
get
long enough to
girls,
become
really.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, time is now up. So let's go ahead and begin. So of course we have our first, scrolling back up here, it's Article 4, Section 1. Full faith and credit should be given to each state So, hey, ladies, what was this even about?
Oh, it's my turn.
Yeah, well, you're
Um,
first. So, I mean, yeah.
The state's laws are gonna be upheld. Even though they're different,
Mhm.
each state has to respect the other state's laws, and
Mhm.
Congress can oversee how they.
That's true. So yeah, the federal government has the final say so in those matters, especially when you have disagreements over states, and that's going to be what some of the first Supreme Court cases are going to be about. Whenever the nation forms, is disagreements over the states. That's one of the reasons why they made the Constitution. Is you had states threatening to go to war with one another, taxing each other, not recognizing each other's laws or currency. They were all making their own money. So it was a big fat mess. Wouldn't help things out. There was no cohesion or unity. And it was just making us weak for invasion. Very good. All right. So section 2. All right.
Roll, Raggy. Do your section.
Jinkies, keepers.
Shh, we get it. We get it. Scooby Doo. Yeah. Come on. Section 2.
So the citizens of each state are granted with immunities and special privileges.
Mhm.
And a person may be charged by any state whenever with treason, felony, or any other crime, and those privileges may be lost.
Yeah, especially if you like leave from the state you committed a crime in and then get caught,
Yes.
you're in like extra trouble.
Yeah, you get extradited to that state. You have to. You can't seek sanctuary in one state. So if you murder somebody in Utah, you can't go to Louisiana and be like, tricked you. No, you're supposed to get shipped back to Utah and go to court for that crime. Yeah, so you can't have one state be safe harbor to like criminals. Yeah.
Pretty much, I like your crime, G.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
that's hilarious.
so that is specifically in the Constitution. States have to respect each other's laws and has to do with crime and stuff. Cool. Very good, guys. Hey, next one.
Section 3, Trace.
So it was basically about if states want to be new, or if we want new states, or
You want
like,
me to do it?
yeah.
So basically, this one talks about how it goes over like if a new state wants to come in to the United States.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, you can't form a state that's inside of a state. So like
Okay.
you can't have like Tyler, Texas, or White House be like, I'm a state now,
Okay.
because then Texas will be like just gobble them up and do it or something. I don't know.
Okay.
It's like no, you can't do that because there's a lot of problems that can pop up with that.
So no state within a state.
Yeah. It also talks about how Congress is equipped with powers to set up new rules and regulations that are appropriate for each new state.
Okay.
And
And of course, we're going to have new states formed after
Yeah.
this, and we're going to see there's different ways. There's going to be, you're going to have how the U.S. through the Northwest ordinances are going to form new states from the West Territory.
Yeah.
You're going to have West Virginia is going to be part of Virginia that doesn't support the Confederacy, so they're just going to make their own state.
West Virginia.
So yeah, we're going to see all kinds of different things. There's talks about making new states now.
If you wanna make it
Yes, go ahead.
Fun fact, West Virginia was originally proposed way earlier, and it was gonna be called West, I forgot, it was like West Philadelphia or something like that, because it was gonna include a lot of Pennsylvania, Virginia, a bit of Tennessee, some of Ohio, and a little bit sliver of Maryland. It was gonna include all those states into one.
Interesting.
Also, we were not very creative with names. That's why we have Washington. Because we were either gonna name stuff Jefferson, Lincoln, Washington, Franklin.
Let's die.
You have no idea how many times people try to name so many parts of the United States with just those 4 names. There's
They're
even,
famous.
There's even a part in Tennessee, like that, how it's kind of like a parallelogram?
Uh-huh.
With a little tip on it, wanted to become a little tiny little state, smaller than any other state that we have, named Franklin.
Whoa. Hey, but hey, on a separate note, so let's go ahead and let's go to Section 4, Article 4. So can y'all tell us about that?
So section 4 basically talks about every state is granted their own form of government,
Mm-hmm.
and specifically Republican.
Yes, it has to be like a republic. Yeah.
This is just guaranteeing that each state will be able to have a state government to keep up with the rest of the Constitution.
And of course, you know that, and of course, they're also supposed to protect one another from like invasion and stuff like that. But yeah, so it has to have representatives, and most states mimic the U.S. federal government, really. Bicameral, 2 houses, an executive branch. Of course, you got the court system. So it makes sense. So like it works for that. So we'll just copy and paste it. Very good. Article 5. Just Article 5.
Okay, so whenever 2/3 of the houses believe that there should be a new amendment proposed, they're gonna propose it, and then it's up to the states to like do a 3/4 vote onto it.
Mhm.
And then after the 3/4 vote, they're gonna try and figure out if they can ratify it into the Congress will figure out if they can ratify it or not.
Mhm.
And also, to add on to that, no amendment made before the year 1808
Mhm.
can be altered.
Mhm.
Those are set in stone. You can't change those. Of course, the wording is a bit vague sometimes, so you can of course mean them in different ways.
It has been seen to have done that. Yeah.
And no state is gonna be denied the right to vote.
Yep. That's right. So, and that's the thing, which goes back to Beck, the question is: the United States a collection of states or a collection of people? Well, there's a lot of ink spilled on the rights of states here. I don't see anything about those individuals so much. So the rights of individuals are going to come through the first 10 amendments, the Bill of Rights. So keep that in mind. And another thing too, the founders and even people all the way up to the early 20th century put so much stock into the amendment process that that even prohibition, the banning of alcohol, was done through the constitutional amendment process. However, you fast forward later and you're going to see that we move beyond that we start banning substances without using the amendment process. And so that's one thing to keep in mind as far as how people view the Constitution today compared to back then. So even 100 years ago, they banned alcohol for the Constitution. Then they have another constitutional amendment to re-legalize it. But when you look at other substances later, they simply use only federal law.
Because they learned their lesson.
Well, it's still the same bans. It just doesn't have the same weight as it used to. All right, next one, Article 6.
Well, it says all debts and promises accumulated during the revolution carried over to the U.S.
Yeah. So all the states, hey, like they acted as individual governments, and some of them had loans to foreign countries. Like, well, they're all ours now. We're going to assume them right now.
Whatever laws or treaties that were included within the Constitution were the ultimate authority that binds all judges, including every state, Supreme Court itself,
Mm-hmm.
with the exception being any laws that are mentioned within the Constitution that contradict it.
Yes, and that's why treaties are so important. That's why it's supposed to be hard to make a treaty with a foreign government, is because that can become the law of the land unless it goes against our Constitution. We cannot have a treaty with a foreign country, or we're not supposed to, that restricts your First Amendment rights.
I'm sure we've
Your
done
right to
something
free
like that with
speech.
China, though. They've ruled on.
So we're not supposed to have a treaty that can do that. So is that it, guys?
No, and there's another one that's looking all senators and representatives or public officers of rights United States or a state bound by an oath with no test,
Religious test.
religious test or public.
Yeah, so you're supposed to have an oath, and an oath is actually something that's supposed to be deeper than a promise. It's based on your honor, it's based on your faith in God. It's supposed to be something that's more important than you are as a person. It's like a higher purpose promise. But at the same time, though, we're not supposed to have a religious test to make sure you're of the right religion, the right faith, right? So you have to believe that there's something higher than yourself. Otherwise, you can't really have an oath. But at the same time, you're not supposed to tell you what religion you're supposed to be in order to have public office. Yeah. So, because they've already seen that kind of thing, and it's not fair. It's not meritorious. And it mixes up church and state. All right, last one. Article 7. Go ahead, friends.
Okay, this one's like, it's pretty simple. It's basically just like, hey, everything that it says up there is, yeah, it's like, that's what's going on. It's like, law.
Yeah.
Previously mentioned is law, like everybody
Yeah.
agrees on it. Comes right to a conclusion.
Yeah, it's George Washington saying, I approve of this message. Wink. Vote for me, right? So, yeah, it's just George Washington's stamp of approval, essentially. So, yeah, it's saying all that stuff's good. I'm down with it. We stayed up late. Yeah. Yeah, you go to the restroom. Hey, that's going to do it for today. I'll have an assignment for y'all up on Thursday, and our next class where we'll meet together is on Friday. See you later.